Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Donovan's Daily Dose. I'm your favorite APUSH history teacher, Mr. Donovan, and today we're going to take a look at Reconstruction. Now, this won't cover every single thing that Reconstruction has to offer, but it is going to give you a baseline of some context, some successes and failures, and the legacy of Reconstruction as a whole. So let's dive in. When we talk about Reconstruction, we're taking a look at 1865. That is the start of it because that is the end of the American Civil War. And now the question is, how are we going to rebuild the United States after its bloodiest war in history? And the big question is, what do we do with these southern states? What do we do with the former Confederate States of America? The federal government, are they going to punish them? These types of big questions as to how we rebuild will fundamentally define Reconstruction. So Lincoln has a plan for Reconstruction, but before it could be fully implemented, he's assassinated in April of 1865, and Andrew Johnson takes over as president. Now, Andrew Johnson is going to be quite controversial, and one of the big reasons why is because he consistently has conflict with Congress, especially the radical Republicans in Congress. This radical Republican group is going to want protected rights for newly freed black citizens, and they are going to go toe-to-toe constantly over what role the federal government is going to play in rebuilding the United States. So that's a little bit of background information. Now let's take a look at some of the successes of Reconstruction. We can really understand the Reconstruction successes by taking a look at three different constitutional amendments. First, we have the 13th Amendment, which officially ends slavery in the United States except for punishment. The 14th Amendment, which says that all citizens or all people born on American soil are automatically citizens. It's also known as birthright citizenship. And the Equal Protection Clause. Now, birthright citizenship is important because it grants mass citizenship to newly freed black citizens. Along with this, the Equal Protection Clause is supposed to ensure kind of this political and social equality, really, for African Americans. The last of the Reconstruction amendments, as we know, is going to be the 15th Amendment, which grants African American men the right to vote. Now, this is not the only successes. We have other things that take place that are extremely valuable, like the creation of the Freedmen's Bureau. This is a government organization that helps newly freed black people. It helps them to negotiate labor contracts so they can get paid for their work. It helps to fund the beginning of educational institutions like historically black colleges and universities. It is going to help with food, shelter, medical care, a lot of things that will help to try to get black citizens on the right path to being able to be self-sufficient and independent and free. And all of these have massive effects, like the 15th Amendment, for example. It's going to lead to the election of a lot of African-American politicians. During Reconstruction, historians estimate roughly 2,000 African-American men will be elected to political office at the local, state, and even the national level. We're going to start to see our first black congressman like Blanche K. Bruce. Now, Reconstruction is not all just successes. There are some failures and some drawbacks. We are going to start to see the rise of organized violence by white supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan and the White League that are going to try to limit the freedoms of newly freed black citizens. We're going to see the rise of redeemers, the Southern faction of the Democratic Party, who is going to try to take back control of politics and get rid of any African-American influence in it. We're also going to see the rise of segregation. Right after the Civil War, this will take the form of black codes. And then after Reconstruction ends, we are going to start to see it in the form of Jim Crow laws, which will be a video for another day. So Reconstruction has multiple successes and multiple failures. And the legacy it really deals with how it ends. In 1877, there's a political compromise between Northerners and Southerners called the Compromise of 1877, which effectively ends Reconstruction. In this case, Rutherford B. Hayes, the Republican nominee, will take over the White House after some disputed results in the presidential election of 1876. And he agrees with Southern politicians that he will remove the troops from the South and effectively end, especially military Reconstruction. Now it's up to Southern state governments to protect the rights of newly freed African Americans. And what you'll find is that this is a hard-fought battle, and it doesn't really happen for African-American citizens. We are going to see segregation solidified with something called the Plessy versus Ferguson case in 1896, which allows for legalized segregation after Reconstruction is over. And one thing I'll say to help you understand the magnitude of Reconstruction, a lot of the civil rights movement of the 1940s and 50s and 60s, those people like Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. They are all really trying to get the American society and American government as a whole to live up to the promises of Reconstruction, meaning they want full citizenship, not second-class citizenship like they experienced once the military left the American South. So that's it, folks, a 5-minute breakdown of Reconstruction. Make sure you like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day.